Well, thank you so much, Don, to join us this morning to talk a little bit about your business and your experience as a Right at Home franchise owner. Let's start off with some easy questions with introductions. Please share how long you've been a Right at Home franchisee, where you're located, and how many territories you have.
Okay. Well, my name's Don Orlando. I've been with Right at Home for since 2011, so we're coming up on our 14th year. My wife is also part owner. Her name's Peggy, but she's not in today, and she's very, very part time with the business. Um, our territories, we have two territories, and they're located north of Baltimore in the areas of Harford County and in the Baltimore County areas. And we kind of handle a little bit of the northern Baltimore City area and the Roland Park area, but that's kind of like our geography that we've been managing. Um, we got our start. I am good friends with Steve and Carol Uber, and Steve and I used to work together in our previous life, and he was talking to me for 5 years prior to me starting with Right at Home to join the Right at Home family. He loved the model, he loved the company, but being a stubborn Italian, I kind of like takes me a little while to fall into someone else's opinion. But my wife was a stay-home mom, and she got to the point where our two sons were old enough for her to go back to work. But she was working for a financial institution, and being removed from that for almost 15 years, she didn't want to go back to that. But at the same time, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it kind of turned our world a little bit upside down. And we got through that, and she was like, "Okay, Don, I want to do something where I want to give back to folks." And I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was something that she was going to pursue on her own because I was gainfully employed for 23 years with another company called Pitney Bowes. And she goes, "No, we're doing this together." So we went from having maybe steak a couple days a week to tuna fish, hot dogs, and pigs in a blanket when we started with Right at Home. The timing was terrible. My financial advisor said, "You picked my son, my oldest, just entered his freshman year at a private high school." So it was a rough start, but we knew it was the right thing to do. And I think when you don't realize what you have until you go through some pain. And our sons were watching their parents go through the struggles of starting a company, and but at the same time, it was so self-fulfilling. I mean, the first client we took care of, I mean, just loved our services. He passed away. It was emotional. And I said, "Peg, this is where we are. This is why the man upstairs put us on this earth." So it's been an absolute joyride. Yeah, it has ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we focus on the people that we take care of and appreciate our services. And now our sons, who in the beginning were like, "Oh, ooh, I see mom and dad, the stress and the starting up the company." Now my oldest wants to take the business over when I'm ready to step aside. And my other son is now working for us as well. So it truly is a family owned company. And it's kind of cool as parents to see that your kids want to do this. And we've always pitched it as this was a plan B for them. Like, you don't have to do this, pursue your dreams. They both graduated from college, and no, they ended up coming here working for us, and it's kind of cool to see.
Absolutely love the fact that the whole family is involved now. And thank you for telling us a little bit about your background and your journey to Right at Home. And definitely sounds like it's exactly what you guys were meant to be. So I'm so excited you guys found kind of your fit here with Right at Home, and you can help so many people. So tell me a little bit about, what your day looks like. How did it look when you first started, and where is it, and what is it like now today, being in the business for 14 years later?
Well, I think in the beginning you are everything. You wear multiple hats. My wife, it was a two-person show in Maryland. We had to have a RN on our staff, so it was three of us. But it was a situation where in the beginning you're just trying to get your name out there. You're just trying to get a client. So you're focusing on that. And in the beginning, it was long days. If a care professional called out, my wife and I had to go out on, last minute to make sure Mr. Jones had his dinner for that day or whatever. But there was a lot of that going on in the beginning. But so it was a lot of hours. I mean, we did our own payroll, so it was every late Thursday night I'm writing out checks for our staff and so forth. And then you kind of, as the system rolls, you start developing more clients, you bring on more office staff, you kind of, some of the hats you can pass on to others. But now, right now, you go from managing just getting clients and get the business going to a point where we are now, where you're just managing the company and you're just coming up with, we have a good staff in place. Um, our work, our life work balance is a little bit better. We have confidence and we feel comfortable not being here 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. Um, so our sons, I think, see that, and they won't have to go through what we went through in the beginning. Um, so it's now we're just managing the business, making sure our customer service is it's at its highest level. We focus on that. We don't have minimums. We from day one we've never had minimums. We just want to take care of people. So the reputation's good. So it's really, my son just has to make sure we keep the relationships going and we keep our service at an optimum, and things should be good.
Yeah, sounds like you're working more on the business than in the business these days.
Yeah, it's stages. You go through stages. Yeah, so it's fun. I mean, you come in every day. We try to have fun because this industry can be kind of crazy. So we have different quarterly programs for our care professionals to show that we appreciate what they're doing. We have caregivers that have been with us from day one. Um, so we've always want to make sure they felt important, because if they feel important, I think that's gonna be reflected when they go out to see our clients. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
100% right there with you. And it's amazing to hear 14 years later, you still have some of the same caregivers that you started with. So when
Yeah.
you're looking at Right at Home as a franchise partner, what part of the support do the corporate office, the Right at Home team provides that you feel is or has been the most beneficial for you?
I think whenever, because you have different labor laws, compliance, regulations, that kind of stuff. It's nice to know that you can pick up the phone and you have somebody in corporate that you just feel that they want you to succeed. Because if you don't succeed, they don't succeed. Um, I'm part of a performance group that we have. Margaret Haynes has been to a couple of our meetings. Rod has been to a couple of meetings. It's nice to know that they really listen to what the challenges that the owners have out in the field, because sometimes it's different what you see, out in the field compared to what you see behind a glass tower. So I really feel that the C-suite of corporate office, right home corporate, they want to know what our pain points are, and they definitely make me feel like, hey, there's something we can do for you. You pick up the phone and call me. So that's one of the strengths I think Right Home offers. Actually, I just talked to my nephew. He's looking at becoming a Right Home franchise owner. So if I didn't feel confident about Right Home, I would have never had that conversation with him.
Absolutely amazing that you're referring family and other people to the brand. So we thank you for that. And then next question. Tell me about a time that you felt that you made a very big impact in someone's life. I'm sure you could probably recall plenty of times, but is there any one that really sticks out in your mind that you really felt you made an impact?
Yeah, we took care of this gentleman who, um, his son was a doctor, and it was one of those things where the son was never around. So he actually, this client, Mr. Bill, actually became like a father for me. We would go down there. We took care of him for almost 5 years, and it was kind of tough to see him slowly decline from being able to walk around with a walker to becoming pretty much with a wheelchair. But his son never like we sent birthday cards and we would go there and it was the only birthday card that was on his table. His son kind of neglected him. My staff basically became his care advocate. If my wife and I had a holiday dinner, we took a plate to Mr. Bill the next day. And you know, we did that one time for Thanksgiving, and he had tears in his eyes. So he went the day that he passed away, right? I think the week before he passed away, my wife and I went down there, and he says, "Don, you've made such a big difference in my life, more than my son's, and I'll never forget that. That's something I will go to my grave with." And we went to the funeral, and the son thanked us for what we did, which was nice, but I felt like I acted more like a son to him than his own son did.
It honestly kind of took my breath away. I'm trying not to tear up myself here because that just shows the impact that people can make on each other's lives every single day. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's our mission is to help improve the lives of others. So thank you so much for sharing that, Dawn. And as we wrap up here, one last question,
Sure.
because there are going to be people who are considering the Right at Home brand that are watching this. What is one piece of advice that you would give someone that is looking at the Right at Home franchise?
I like I told my nephew, I said two things I would focus on. Stay with the model that Right at Home provides because it works, and keep it simple. You know, this we can try to make this into an Amazon or an IBM, but the bottom line is at the end of the day, we're here to take care of people. So if you focus on that, good things will happen to good people. So anybody who's looking at a Right at Home franchise, my suggestion is they give you a template, follow it. It's effective, it works, but keep your just keep your game plan very simple. Hire the right people. Be honest with the clients you serve. Be honest with the family members that you're serving, and just keep focusing on customer service. And at the end of the day, good things will follow.
Perfect advice. Well, thank you so much, Dawn, for your time today. I'll let you get back to your business, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.